From the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains in beautiful Colorado, it is Sunday, October 11th, 2020, and this is Truly News. Hello and welcome. I hope that your weekend is going well. As you go through your day today, here is a thought to consider. It is important to understand that we are all human brothers and sisters. Scientists have found, through genetic research, that humans, regardless of sex or ethnicity, vary genetically by only 0.1%. That means for every 1,000 lines of our genetic code, we only have one line different. Put another way, we are all 99.9% identical. Well, something to think about as you go through your day today. For now, let's get smarter and better informed by taking a look at today's news. As always, we start with a look at the top headlines from across the country. From the New York Times, payments have been traced to Trump properties and possible influence peddling. In its continued analysis of his finances, the Times found over 200 companies, special interest groups, and nations that patronized Trump properties while receiving benefits from his administration. And from the Wall Street Journal, U.S. aims to open New York-London travel by holidays. U.S. officials are aiming to open travel between New York and London with shorter travel quarantine periods as soon as the holidays, as the availability of rapid COVID-19 tests grows. And from USA Today, on Saturday Night Live, Joe Biden and Herman Cain appear as flies on Mike Pence's head during vice presidential debate spoof. Jack White played a tribute to Eddie Van Halen, and host Bill Burr divides fans after controversial opening monologue that dove into issues of race and politics. And finally, in our look at the top headlines, here are the stories that are crossing the wire at Reuters News. Hurricane Delta leaves Louisiana reeling and out of power as the cleanup begins. Weary residents of coastal Louisiana began cleaning up on Saturday from wind and water damage inflicted by Hurricane Delta to their already storm-battered region, even as it weakened and moved northeast. Also, appeals court for now keeps alive Texas's limit on drop boxes for absentee ballots. A U.S. federal appeals court on Saturday issued a temporary stay that allows the Republican governor of Texas to continue limiting counties to a single drop-off site for absentee ballots. And Trump to resume campaigning while the second presidential debate is canceled. U.S. President Donald Trump will resume in-person campaigning on Saturday after being sidelined by a case of COVID-19. But a debate next week against his presidential election opponent Joe Biden was canceled because Trump refused to participate in a virtual debate. And those are your top headlines for the day. To put us in a better mood after those headlines, we now present our top 5 joke countdown. As usual, bringing us the countdown is my friend Billy Cunningham. Billy is a comedian who goes by the stage name Potbelly. And here's Billy.
Thank you, Jason. From my studio here in Sweetsville, Appalachia, this is Billy Potbelly Cunningham. By the way, for those of you who live in Detroit, Michigan, on October 14th, I will be performing at the Hot Rod Custom Show in the booth next to the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. Hope to see you there. Now, on to our jokes. I am now being handed the jokes for today by my intern, Penny. She gets the jokes from Reader's Digest, and as an up-and-coming comedian, she often writes a few to try to make them even funnier. So, let's see how she's done today. And looking here at the joke cards, it looks like our category today is text jokes. Oh, baby. Here we go. Number 5. This first joke says, anyone who thinks talk is cheap obviously does not pay my daughter's phone bill. Oh, okay. Starting out a little slow this morning. That's okay. Number 4. You know you're texting too much when you say LOL in real life instead of laughing. Oh, man. Was this just one of your cut and paste mornings, Penny? Yeah. Let's move on. Number 3. Question. Why was the cell phone wearing glasses? Answer. It lost its contacts. Oh, starting off really slow. Seriously, Penny, did you read these before printing them? I'm going to start looking at these before I just start reading. Let's see here. Let's see. Not going to read that one. Nope, not going to read that one either. Let's try this one here. Okay. Number 2. Here is a text exchange between me and my mama yesterday. The first text from mama said, "How make chicken?" I replied, "What?" Mama texted back, "Chicken recipe." I replied, "I don't have any chicken recipes." Her final text said, "Honey, get in here. The search command on my new phone isn't working." Okay, that's a little better. She thought she was doing a search. Anyway. Alright, after much pain and perseverance, here is your number 1 text joke of the day. I was sitting in the living room when I got a text from my daughter who was upstairs. She said, "Dad, I'm in the bathroom and there's a moth on the door. Can you get rid of it?" Shaking my head in amusement, I went back to watching SpongeBob SquarePants. A few minutes later, she texted again and said, "Please hurry. I don't want to be stuck in here." Man, I thought to myself, I should have definitely raised her tougher. She's 16 and scared of a moth. Ooh, wait. Well, I'm going to leave this for her to figure out on her own. A few minutes later, I got a text in all caps that simply said, "Dad!" Oh, man. So finally I responded. I texted back, "Dad is dead. From the other moth." Yeah. All right, that was good. Oh. Ooh, well, those are your jokes for today. I'm glad we had a little time together this morning, and I look forward to hearing you listen to me again tomorrow. In the meantime, be kind to others, be good to yourself, and keep on smiling. And this is Billy Potbelly Cunningham signing off. Over and out. There you have it, folks. Billy and his top 5 countdown. Thanks, Billy. And now we return to the news. From the world of science and technology, CNN reports that SpaceX's Starman and Tesla Roadster made its first close approach to Mars. For those who haven't heard of the Tesla and Spaceman orbiting the Sun, in 2018, SpaceX, founded by Elon Musk, who also founded Tesla, needed to test its new rocket technology for flying things to space. So they decided to make its initial payload Musk's personal Tesla, and behind the wheel they placed a mannequin in a spacesuit, which they named Spaceman.
The rocket launch was successful, and when it reached space, the car and spaceman were ejected into space on a trajectory that would cause it to fly near Mars before settling into an orbit around the Sun. This week, that trajectory took it past Mars. Also in science and technology news, from Science Magazine, a NASA mission is about to capture ancient dust from an asteroid. On September 8, 2016, a satellite with the mission to analyze an ancient asteroid was launched. The satellite, called OSIRIS-REx, caught up with the asteroid named Bennu on December 31, 2018. This month, on October 20th, OSIRIS-REx will briefly touch down on the asteroid and take samples from its surface. After that, it will start its long journey to return the samples to scientists on Earth. These will be the first samples humans have ever had from an ancient object whose existence dates back to the earliest moments of our solar system. The hope is that it will hold clues to the origin of life on Earth and whether life may have originated elsewhere in our solar system. And our final article from Science and Technology News, from CNET. Prime Day vs. Black Friday. What time should you buy? If you're wondering whether to buy your holiday gear during Amazon's Prime Day next week or wait until Black Friday, here's a simple answer. Buy early. Prime Day, which is usually held in July, has become a major part of the retail calendar, with dozens of major stores participating. Because of the coronavirus pandemic, Amazon delayed the event to October 13th and 14th this year, making Prime Day more of an unofficial start to the holiday shopping season. That's going to put more pressure on retailers who traditionally save their premier holiday sales for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Customers are expected to look for deals earlier this season, and merchants will respond in kind. Walmart and Target, for instance, already announced sales to coincide with this year's Amazon Prime Day. And those are your science and technology headlines for today. In health news, CNBC reports U.S. sees highest number of new coronavirus cases in nearly 2 months. The U.S. reported more than 57,000 new coronavirus cases on Friday, the highest daily total since mid-August, according to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. New cases are surging in states across the South, East, and Midwest. Cases continue to surge in the nation's Great Plains regions, with Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wyoming reaching record highs for average new cases, among other states. And from WebMD, is election stress getting to you? Well, maybe it will help to know that you are not alone. For most Americans, the 2020 presidential election is a big source of stress. A new nationwide survey shows that nearly 7 in 10 adults, 68% surveyed, called the election a significant source of stress, compared with 52% in 2016. The survey was commissioned by the American Psychological Association. So, hang in there. Less than 3.5 weeks to go. And that is your health news for today. Now, we take another break from the headlines for today's Words of Wisdom. To present this segment is Dr. Albert Feinstein, one of my philosophy professors from college. And here is Dr. Feinstein.
Thank you, Mr. Van Sickle. Hello, and welcome to today's Words of Wisdom. Today's words of wisdom are from Sophocles, a Greek philosopher. It was Sophocles who said, "Wisdom outweighs any wealth." Let's think about this. People spend so much time trying to make money and not enough time gaining wisdom. Wisdom is the accumulation of knowledge and experience, and it teaches us how to navigate life and thrive. With wisdom, a person can always find a way to survive and improve their circumstances. Money, however, only buys survival and material happiness as long as it can continuously be replenished. So, wisdom definitely outweighs any wealth. And those are your words of wisdom for today. Until next time, keep seeking wisdom and believe in your incredible potential. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Feinstein. We appreciate your words of wisdom and your encouragement. Now, we return to our review of today's news. In entertainment news, we start with new movies, and today's movie is Hubie Halloween, starring Adam Sandler, Kevin James, and Julie Bowen. This movie falls into the category of comedy. And the description from IMDb says, despite his devotion to his hometown of Salem and its Halloween celebration, Hubie Dubois is a figure of mockery for kids and adults alike. But this year, something is going bump in the night, and it is up to Hubie to save Halloween. Hubie Halloween is now showing on Netflix. Moving on, we look at newly released shows, and today's show is Gangs of London. This action crime drama series stars Ray Pantaki and Joe Cole, and the description from IMDb says, The Gangs of London tells the story of London being torn apart by the turbulent power struggles of its international gangs and the sudden power vacuum that is created when the head of London's most powerful crime family is assassinated. Gangs of London is available on Sling. Finally, in our entertainment news, we take a look at newly published books. And our book for today is Caste by Isabel Wickerson. Caste is presently number 3 on the New York Times nonfiction bestseller list. Here is a summary from Amazon.com. The Pulitzer Prize-winning best-selling author of The Warmth of the Other Suns examines the unspoken caste system that has shaped America and shows how our lives are still defined by a hierarchy of human divisions. Caste is now available in print at your local bookstore, and it is also available in print, Kindle, and audiobook formats on Amazon. And that concludes our entertainment news for the day. As always, we end our broadcast with a look at what we call Happy News. And here is your Happy News story for the day. From the West Central Tribune in Wilmar, Minnesota. A smile and a wave leads to kindness. Vinny Rominger likes to honk and wave at people. The young man says that it makes him feel good when they wave back. One person that he would often honk and wave at was an older man that sat in his driveway every day watching cars pass by. Vinny often passed the man on the way home from work and had honked and waved at him many times. One day, he decided to stop and say hi. What he found was someone who was excited to have a visitor. George doesn't get out much these days, other than sitting outside in his driveway. However, on this day, he made a new friend, as Vinny and George spent over an hour visiting. One of the things that Vinny learned was that George was about to turn 100 years old. When asked what he would like for his birthday, George told Vinny that it would simply be nice if more people drove by and honked and waved just like Vinny had done. Inspired, Vinny went on Facebook and told his story, asking people to drive by George's house on his birthday and simply honk and wave. He never imagined the response that the post would receive. On his birthday, George was sitting outside once again, and to his surprise, car after car that day drove by with friendly smiling faces, honking and waving. Vinny was there to share the experience with George, and the two men have now become best friends. And that is your news for October 11th, 2020. Have a great day.